Hi and welcome. This is Beth with divinemetime.com. Be sure to check out the website after our practice today. This is a yoga practice to love those legs and hips. So be sure to like and subscribe to this channel and let's get started. I'll meet you on the mat. Starting in Anjali Mudra with the hands at the chest, just breathe. Feel your ground, making any alterations to make yourself ultimately comfortable here. Closing the eyes. And then we're going to do a little grounding with one hand on the forehead, the other hand on the lower abdomen. Allow the weight of the head to rest into the hand and for the hand to support the head back. So really see how deeply you can let go of the heaviness of the head and simply breathe. And now releasing the hands, we will stand the feet a little wider than hip width, right in front of the body. Make yourself again comfortable, finding your sit bones and the full length of your spine. If you need to put something under your hips, feel free to do so. I'm just wiggling side to side here to just orient myself in this position. And now we're going to begin to round the back, bringing the chin to chest. And with the inhalation coming forward, bringing the chest through. So cat-cow in this seated position. I'm going to turn just so you can see how I am rounding through the spine, slightly tilting the pelvis, but still staying up nice and tall. And making sure that you link breath with movement. And here comes Tigerlily, my cat. Take your time to feel everything that is happening on both sides of the spine, through the pelvis. I'm just going to move to the front again. Now what we'll be doing is we'll be taking opposite foot with hand. And take a moment before you start to stretch the leg out. Now the leg doesn't need to be straight. Thank you for your cuddles, Tigerlily. And then twist to the side and extend the back arm so that you have your arms to a T. And just be sure that the shoulder is comfortable. So if it's not, just bring that arm a little more forward. And press into the hand holding the foot with the foot and press back into the foot with the hand. That will help you sit up straighter and get a more intensive but safe stretch. And let's go to the other side now. Same thing. So take your time to find where you are, orient yourself, check in with your muscles, and then start to straighten the leg. When you're ready to extend that back arm, do so. And here we really want to make sure that we're as tall as can be from the tailbone up. So if you're rounding through the back at all, remove or let go of your foot, put something under your hips and start over. Breathe. Here she comes again. Okay, so letting that leg go. Just take a moment now to rest, hanging over your legs, arms wherever they fall. Just breathe. Thanks for the headbutt. And then coming up, now we're going to take the same foot with same arm and extend that leg and bring it off to the side. So here you can either use your opposite hand slightly behind you to support yourself, or like me here, you can lift both arms again into a T. If the knee is bent again, that's fine. Don't sweat it. You could also use a belt here if you wanted to use a belt around the ball of the foot. Let's go to the other side now, extending the leg forward and then opening to the side. So again, the temptation, of course, is to round through the lower back. We want to make sure that we're not doing that. Breathe. And release. Again, just drape over your legs and take a break and notice what you feel. We'll come up, bring the hands now behind us to anchor ourselves, cross one foot over opposite knee. And then depending on how close you bring your body towards that upper leg will determine the strength of the stretch. So, of course, always play gently with your edge, whatever the edge is for you. Some of you might prefer to be on your forearms or even all the way down to the floor. So feel free to do that if it's more comfortable for you. Otherwise, sitting upright, your arms being your support here. Drawing that knee down away towards the bottom of the mat. And then letting your legs fall off to one side. If you can touch the floor, perfect. If you can't, you can always rest the sole of the foot on top of the inner thigh. Here too, you might find coming down to the forearms or all the way onto the back to be more comfortable. So that's a variation you can try. Notice that my foot is flexed. Both feet are flexed, and that just creates a little line of tension through the legs. And we'll switch now, coming back up and then switching legs. Just feeling how close you want to be to that upper leg. Breathe, and when you're ready, you can start to fall over to the side. And again, the foot might touch and it might not, so. And I'm just going to come down to my forearms. So notice where you feel the stretch. And then I'm going to come back up to sitting, uncross my legs, and just sitting up tall, checking in with how I feel. And we'll come on to all fours, having the knees right under hips, hands right under shoulders or thereabouts, maybe a little further forward. And I'm just shifting my weight here a little bit back and forth. My toes are flexed so I can get a stretch through the feet. And just some gentle cat-cow here. Staying with the breath. Inhaling as you pull the chest through, exhaling as you round. And if you want to get more organic here and make more circular motions as opposed to a real linear cat-cow, feel free. And now we'll take one leg out to the side at about level with the hips or perhaps a little forward of the hips. You can have the toes pointing toward the ceiling or the foot flat on the surface of the ground. That back toe flat or bent, up to you. And this might be enough for you, just staying here. But if you want to add some cat-cow into this position, feel free. It's a fabulous inner thigh stretch. Feels so good. So again, just remember to move with your breath. Sometimes we forget to breathe. Now cross one arm over towards that foot extended to the side. I'm going to bring my toes up here. So it's kind of like playing Twister. If you ever played that game with the different colored bubbles that you have to put your body parts in at different times, this probably feels a lot like that. Okay, gently uncross, bring that knee back under you, or leg rather, and then we're going to take that same leg, cross it over the midline of the body, and then turn to look towards the heel. So feeling that nice long side, and I'm going to spin around to do the other side. We'll do the same sequence, so taking the leg out to the side, some cat-cow if that's accessible to you, or simply holding the pose if you're getting enough sensation. Staying with the breath. Coming into our twister position, so crossing the arms toward the extended leg. Taking the leg back under you, and then extending it and crossing over the midline, turning to look at the heel. And my foot there is completely rooted to the ground. And I'm actually feeling the ground under the supporting leg as well, so really resting into the support. And release. Go ahead and bend your toes back and just shift your weight a few times. We're going to come up into a downward facing dog, but you want to peel yourself off the ground. So first, just balance back and forth, feeling the weight shift, stretching the feet, maybe feeling the knees leave the floor a little bit, feeling the length from the fingertips all the way through the spine to the tailbone as you come up. And the feet may or may not touch the floor completely. That's fine. You can bend the knees as well, so don't feel you have to have straight legs. And if you do have straight legs, make sure you're not locking your knees. Breathe. Coming up to the toes and back down a couple of times. Pedal the feet. And then make as if to crawl and take a step forward. So opposite hands and feet moving together and then back. What we're going to do is we're going to come into pigeon pose. We're going to come into pigeon pose. So when you're ready, taking that front leg all the way down, and let's stay upright to start. Letting that hip soften downward toward the mat. If you need support under the bent leg side, you can sneak a pillow, cushion, or block right under that hip. Finding the length through the spine, the support of the floor through that extended leg, so it's pressing into the ground either with the toes or with the leg flat. And then coming down to the forearms if that's accessible, or simply holding the body upward. And then if you want to come all the way down, you can rest your forehead on your hands. And just breathe and relax here. Coming up, we will move back into all fours, peel back up into our downward dog, so shifting the weight a few times and then peeling up. And we'll go to the other side, so take a few of the crawl movements, so opposite hands and foot as if crawling forward. Just feeling the weight shift and how the opposite side has to bear the weight. And then when you're ready, bringing the second leg forward, nice and tall through the spine and the body. Any support under that hip of the bent leg if you need it, the forward leg. And just giving the body time to unwind here, to find its softness. At any point you feel ready, you can come onto your forearms if that is possible. And again, taking a moment to soften here. Finding moments of release, then you might be able to rest your forehead on your hands at any point. Breathe. Now push yourself back up, removing any props, bringing your legs back under you in an all fours position into a child's pose. or puppy pose if you would rather be on the weight of your body on your forearms with your hips up, that's fine. Release through the lower back and allow the hips to fall towards the heels. Breathe. Prepare now to draw the body forward with an inhalation coming down onto the belly, to flip over onto our backs. And we will take a final shavasana here. So take the time to wiggle, shift, orient, find your ground. Feel free to use any props if you need something under your knees or your heels or your head. And relax. Let's begin now to bring some gentle movement back into the fingers and the toes. So wiggling, bending, and a big long body stretch, tightening the muscles around the bones as you reach. Release and curl up into a little fetal position, either on the right or the left. And stay there for a moment, just feeling the body. Checking in with the mind. Noticing any shifts in emotional energy as you push up with the top arm into a seated position. We'll do a little meditation together. I have something under my hips. Whatever you need to be comfortable seated here, you're welcome to use a chair as well, of course. I have my hands in Gyan Mudra with the thumb and index finger together. Simply breathe and sense into and notice everything you feel. Aware of the silence. The stillness. And the spaciousness. Let's bring the hands together in Anjali Mudra to close our practice now. Thank you so much for joining me today. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel. And do check out my website, divinemetime.com, where I offer services in restorative healing yoga sessions, mirror meditation facilitation, and transformational voice work, as well as grief movement and space holding. Take good care.